The NWA presents Magazine Review here with Wes. And today's magazine is Wrestling Eye magazine, August 1992. And the only magazine that tells it like it is. And it was quite groundbreaking at the time because there was a lot of truthfulness in the magazine and a bit of kayfabe, but it was still interesting and one of the first magazines to do massive color. So we got a nice picture here on the front of two of my favorite wrestlers of all time. The greatest world champion ever and one of the greatest big muscle guys ever. Yeah, sure. So let's just take a quick look at the contents. Hogan vs. Justice, The Undertaker, Dangerous Alliance, Shawn Michaels, PM News, Pillman vs. Liger, and Scott Steiner, Chaz, Europe's Greatest Stars. I can't wait till we get there. Bloody Tokyo, Gene Kiniski, Chris Cruz, and the pinups in here were always awesome. So I got a great one there of Bret Hart and Paul Bearer. He's a great character. I loved him. These two guys were awesome. I love the Steiner brothers. So much fun. So great in the ring, talent, muscle, and pure physicality for sure. Yeah, they were supposed to be kind of bullies, but for in-the-ring talent, yeah, they were number one as far as I was concerned. I guess this is before the WWF stopped all the magazines from using their pictures of their shows. Sid, what can I say? Ooh, Call of the Wild. Look at that. I'm telling you, they must have made a fortune on that. Mr. Calloway and the urn, the famous urn. Fighting females, more girls. Dangerous Alliance, Destined for Glory, Arn Anderson, Rick Rude, and Steve Austin. Look at... yeah. Wow. Oh, let me skip a page here. Hang on. Paulie Dangerously, Medusa, Zbyszko, Bobby Eaton, and Conclusion. Pro Wrestling Hotline, Shawn Michaels, and Sensational Sherry. Now, I'll give him credit. He could wrestle. He was a talent. I really disliked him in the WWF, but he was a talent. No doubt about that. PM News. I think this name was, what, Paul New or something? Big guy with a gimmick that, yeah, okay. More girl wrestling videotapes. I wonder what that is all about. Brian Pillman, now that was a guy I saw live in, I think, Buffalo. He was he was very exciting, very exciting. And this would have been a fantastic match to watch. These two smaller guys, 220s or whatever they were, pounds. Would have been sweet. More girl wrestlers on videotape. And more girl wrestlers on videotape. Is that the only thing they could sell? Scott Steiner, the face of the future. Well, Big Papa Pump. Certainly not Big Papa Pump there, that's for sure. But very talented in the ring, and the guy looked like $1 million in the ring too. I thought more lady wrestling videotapes. Al Perez, Sensational Sherry, Mr. Duggan, The Nate, Ric Flair, Cactus Jack, and Chris Adams. I would have liked to have seen Chris Adams wrestle. I thought on videotape he looked pretty good. I liked him. And he had the super kick before Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. Chaz, yeah, okay. Europe's Greatest Mat Stars, Flash Gordon, Franz Schurman, Tony St. Clair, Otto Wands, paid $10,000 or $100,000 or $4 million to wear Vern's belt for a few months. Rambo Poirier from Canada. David Fit Finley. Skip the page here, sorry. Scott Hall. He may be Diamond Stud now, but when this man wrestles in Europe under the name of Texas Scott, no one is safe in his path. Drew McDonald, Rollerbar Mark Rocco, and we've talked about him in one of our podcasts in the past. And Big Van Vader. More wrestling women. More wrestling women. More wrestling women. More wrestling women. Columns, reviews, and pen pals. Observer, Torch, Pro Wrestling Update, World Wrestling Examiner, Global Wrestling History News Service, which was probably the best sheet and the longest running sheet. Fantastic from Tom Burke. Nothing wrong with the Observer, but it's not the same anymore. Wrestling Wire, I used to buy those sometimes back in the day, way before this, in the 80s. Bloody Bloody Tokyo, the Sheik invades Japan. Well, 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 look at this. Look at him. I don't know what he's got in his mouth, but the Sheik. Still feared throughout the world. And a great picture of Sabu and the Sheik. More women wrestling videotapes. More women wrestling videotapes. More wrestling women's videotapes. More wrestling women's videotapes and some ratings. Let's see. WWF, Randy Savage, Ric Flair, Warrior, Justice, Piper, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Jake Roberts, Sting, Rude, Steamboat, Wyndham, Austin, Dustin Rhodes, Cassidy Jack, Abdullah the Butcher, NCW, Johnny Rhodes, Nikolai Volkov, Mike Sharp, Cousin Luke, Sweet Williams, SD Jones, Cheetah Kid, I liked him, Ted Petty, I think that was, and he was one of the Bulldogs or Pit Bulls in ECW. Smaller guys, some smaller guys. USA, Lawler, Kamala, some guys still coming up there. And top 10 managers, Bearer, Dangerously, Jimmy Hart, Cornette, Whippleman, Sensational Sherry, Bruce Pritchard, which is kind of weird, Brother Love, I don't know why he would be there, Brother Love, Medusa Michelli, Mr. Fuji, and Elizabeth. Yeah, Elizabeth. And the top 15 rated by wrestling ability. That's pretty interesting. Flair, Hart, Shawn, Sting, Scott, Steamboat, Jack Anderson, Ted DiBiase, Pillman, Arn, Jeff Jarrett, Bobby Eaton, Cheetah Kid, and Eddie Gilbert. And some back issues. Big Thunder, Gene Kiniski. Look at the pictures. That was, I think, the WWA belt back in the mid-60s. One of the only guys to hold lots of belts. AWA, NWA, WWA. Superb, supreme talent. Letters to the editor. Let's see if there's anybody, any famous wrote in. No, female fighting directory. Chris Cruez, from Lady Boxer to Wrestler, more wrestling lady videos. And this is just sort of a filler here. Oh my gosh, there's like, what, 20 pages of wrestling women's videos. Now this is professional wrestlers here, most of these look like. So Misty Blue, she was a pretty darn good looking woman. John Tatum and Rod Price. Pat Tanaka, I liked him in the AWA. Earthquake, he was fantastic out in Tomko's promotion. John Tenta. And the British Bulldog. Well, there you go, another great edition of Magazine Wrap Down. That's it. Magazine Review. Another edition here from the NWCA and the Podcast Network on YouTube. Thanks, bye.